I have that accumulated experience in diplomacy. I know very well the African Union for having attended most of the events there for the past 2 decades. So I think I have, the profile and the necessary experience to take on that position.
Now, looking at East Africa, we are told that Kenya has presented its former Prime Minister, Raila Odinga. Is this not perhaps something that is going to divide the region?
I think the more we have candidates, and the best it will be for the continent, because you have, several choices to make, and I think competence and merit has to be, the core principle of that choice when the voting day will come. And I'm not concerned about the number of candidates that are running for the position. I think that it's good that African leaders and African, experts can decide on what profile will be, the best for the position, and that's not a big deal.
Now, looking at the Commission, there has been lots of challenges in terms of the functioning of the Commission and all the challenges we see on the continent. Many people saying that it has failed to address the challenges facing the continent. How do you hope to deal with all these challenges, particularly when you look at the conflict on the continent?
You are right in saying that the implementation level of the decisions made by the Assembly of Heads of State is not that high. If you look at the first 10 years plan, the experts that have drafted the report, the evaluation report, said that only 37% of the decisions have been implemented. So there is really, let's say, a lot to do to improve that record. That's number one. Secondly, I think that we are at the African Union having to face a number of strongholds, bottlenecks, and those bottlenecks are, one of them is indeed the mobilization of resources. I think if we can rely only on member states, financing and funds, that will be better instead of, reaching out to Western countries to finance 50% of our programs. The other bottleneck is the fact that some of our countries are still stuck with the sovereignty issues. And if you want to speak in one voice on the international arena and have, those common positions, unified African common positions, we need to reach better compromises when it comes to the sovereignty spaces. As far as peace and security are concerned, I think the mechanisms that we have need to do better work. I'm sure that the Peace and Security Council is trying its level best, but the implementation of the decision made at that level, that implementation is really to some extent a failure. And then we have also to empower, other mechanisms that have been enacted, such as the East African Standby Force. We need to, put forward better engagement rules in conflict prevention, conflict resolutions. We need to focus mainly on how, to avoid those unconstitutional changes of governments in some countries. There are so many challenges, but I think the mechanisms are there, the policies are there. What is missing is the implementation level. I think the Commission has to improve that, and I will make sure that the relationship between the Commission and member states will be, more proactive. And I will make sure that also the Commission, focus on the implementation rate of the decisions that the Assembly and the principals, make. That's, one of the top priorities. Then you have the staff of the Commission. We have today 1,380 personnel at the Commission. We need also to improve their status. We need to have a better visibility for their career. When you treat your personnel better, you will certainly have better efficiency in the way they work and the results they reach.
And finally, when we look at what you have to deal with, should you be appointed next year, there's a burning issue of the permanent seats for Africa on the UN Security Council. We saw America saying that they support that, even though they don't agree that those seats, those who will occupy the 2 seats, will have veto powers. How are you going to handle this? Because Africa must be united, and I think this is something that's likely going to divide the continent.
I think we need to stick to the Zilweno consensus. Those 2 permanent seats with the veto rights are a must. And I think that it is justice that is rendered to the African nations. That justice is something that is legitimate, and we will fight for it. I think that now the mindset is changing. Many countries, the P5 and others who were opposing those reforms at the Security Council are now changing the course of their mindset. And we will build on that, and we hope that we will get those 2 seats with veto power. And the veto power, 2 permanent seats, is the consensus that the African nations have reached, and we will certainly work for it.